Hi, let's talk about the RAAS today. What is the RAAS in one sentence? The RAAS is a hormonal system that regulates blood pressure by controlling blood volume, meaning the total amount of fluid in the circulatory system. How does it do that? By using the hormone aldosterone, which is the final player in the RAAS, to reabsorb more sodium in the kidney. Let's look at this more closely in the nephron. Where does aldosterone work? It acts on the mineralocorticoid receptor, which is found in the distal nephron tubule and collecting duct cells. And what happens when aldosterone binds to these receptors? Aldosterone increases the expression of specific channels and pumps. On the luminal side, so facing the filtrate, it increases the ENaC, the epithelial sodium channel, and then the ROMK, a potassium channel. This allows more sodium to enter the kidney, while potassium exits into the urine to maintain electroneutrality. Where does the sodium go from there? It exits into the blood through the sodium-potassium ATPase pump on the basolateral side. So aldosterone increases the expression, meaning the quantity, of these channels and pumps in the kidney. How does this increase blood volume though? Sodium passively pulls chloride along with it through paracellular space between the cells. And together, so sodium and chloride, these ions draw water with them. And this increases blood volume and therefore in the end blood pressure. When is aldosterone secreted? How does the kidney know that blood volume and blood pressure are too low? It measures kidney perfusion indirectly. The glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, in the glomerulus depends directly on blood pressure in the body. The lower the GFR, the less salt arrives in the nephron per unit of time. And where is this measured? It's measured at the macula densa, a specialized structure in the distal tubule, where salt concentration is measured. When it's low, this indicates low GFR and low blood volume and low blood pressure. The kidney then secretes the hormone renin. What happens next? A cascade occurs in the blood. Renin is actually an enzyme. It clears angiotensinogen, which is produced by the liver and released into the blood. This creates angiotensin-1, which is a precursor form, which is then converted by ACE, angiotensin-converting enzyme, which is an enzyme from endothelial cells, into angiotensin II. The lung is often mentioned as the main site because it has an enormous surface area of capillaries and endothelial cells. But this conversion into angiotensin II actually happens everywhere in the body where endothelial cells are. So how does the cycle complete? Angiotensin II directly stimulates aldosterone secretion in the adrenal glands, and the cycle closes. What does increased RAAS activity mean, and when does this occur? When blood pressure and kidney perfusion are low, there is more renin, more angiotensin I and II, and more aldosterone, which brings more sodium and passively more water into the blood. This works over the medium term, but not immediately. But does the RAAS also work directly on blood pressure? Yes, it does, through the regulation of vessel diameter. How does this happen? This time, though, angiotensin II is the player. It is one of the most powerful vasoconstrictors in the body, actually, and helps determine the continuous vessel diameter, called vascular tone, alongside the sympathetic nervous system. High angiotensin II levels make vessels narrower. What happens to blood pressure when vessels are narrow? The amount of blood stays the same for the moment if we ignore aldosterone effect, and it doesn't get lost. When we make all the pipes, meaning the vessels, narrower, the pressure rises everywhere, meaning blood pressure in the arterial system increases. So next, let's also discuss what else stimulates aldosterone production. Hyperkalemia, meaning too much potassium concentration in the blood, increases aldosterone production. This means aldosterone is also involved in potassium homeostasis, not only in blood pressure regulation. If you want to learn more about potassium, check out the video on potassium regulation. Hyperkalemia stimulates aldosterone production since aldosterone increases the excretion of potassium into the urine. Let's summarize the key points of this video. First, the RAAS is a hormonal system that regulates blood pressure by controlling blood volume through sodium and water retention in the kidney. Second, aldosterone acts on the distal nephron by increasing expression of ENaC, ROMK, and the sodium-potassium ATPase, leading to sodium reabsorption and potassium excretion. Third, the RAAS is activated when kidney perfusion drops, leading to renin release from the juxtaglomerular apparatus, which senses low salt concentration at the macula densa in the distal tubule. And fourth, angiotensin II also directly increases blood pressure through vasoconstriction in the whole arterial system. And finally, lastly, aldosterone secretion is also stimulated by hyperkalemia, making it an important role in potassium homeostasis. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching, and I see you next time.